This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, and today we have the good fortune of having Charles back on the channel. You may remember that Charles is the original slow traveler. He's been traveling the world for 36 years now, I believe. And so with his time in mind, you've got 50 years of traveling the world today on the channel. And Charles he sets a goal when he goes to places, when he of trying to live at around 1,000 a month, and he's done that in many places around the world. So he's a very interesting man to talk to. And I'll put a link below at the end to the first interview if you want to hear more from Charles. And we feel delighted to have you back. Charles, welcome to the channel. Welcome back.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here.
So Charles, where in the world are you right now?
The town that I live in is called Playa Azul. It's a little beach town, about 3,000 inhabitants. It's the closest resort, if you can call it that, a sort of weekend resort from the city of Lázaro. So during the week, on the weekends, there's a lot of people here from the city of Lázaro, which has about 300,000 people. They come from the state capital, Morelia, sometimes as far as Mexico City, but mostly Mexican nationals from this state or this part of Mexico. Internationally, nobody. I met one American here a couple months ago that was visiting he lives in Jalisco. But other than that, it's all Mexicans, and mostly Mexicans from this part of the country.
Well, that's great. We have a lot of requests from time to time about people, hey, are non-touristy areas cheaper? And so that's an interesting thing for me. You're in at least an internationally non-touristy area, and the beach is always going to have tourism, but it's more national, it sounds like. And so we'd be curious about what your cost of living is in a small community like that. But first, what's your home country, Charles? Where were you
United
born?
States.
You're an American, and you've been. Is that right? Do I have it? Is my memory correct? You have been slow traveling for about 35, 36 years, living around the world.
Yes. Yeah, probably the first, when I turned 21 in Mexico. I studied at the University of Veracruz in Jalapa in the early 70s. And since then, yeah, I studied in the States a bit, did a lot of traveling around the States, traveling in Mexico and Central America. I went to the Peace Corps in 1979, Colombia, Eastern Caribbean. And from there, I did a graduate degree in Puerto Rico, worked as a shrimp farmer in Ecuador, South America, Galapagos Islands, back to California, San Diego for 5 years, and then to the Middle East, actually to the Far East, Thailand, Taiwan for a few years, Middle East, Oman for 14 years, the longest I've ever lived anywhere in the Sultanate of Oman. And Spain for a while, States for a while, and for the last, I guess, 2 years in Thailand, 2016 to 18 in Thailand. And when I left Thailand in 2018, I came to California and Mexico, and I've been here with a brief stint in Iraq. Last year, I've been in this part of the world.
Okay, so small town in Mexico, not a lot of international tourism, more local tourism. What kind of rent are you paying, and what do you get for that roughly?
This place I pay I think it's $235 US. All the utilities are paid. It's got 2 bedrooms. It was set up as a weekend kind of tourist place. So there's 2 bedrooms, 4 beds, 1 open plan kitchen, living room, nice bathroom, patio and yard, and it's on the main street. It's 1 block from the beach, and as I said, that $235, all utilities paid. Internet is house internet is $20 a month, and my phone internet is another $10 a month.
Oh, so you have both a router and you have a Mexican data card. That's great. So you're fully connected wherever you go, and you have your voice is coming through, your video is coming through, so you have pretty good bandwidth too.
Yeah, the internet is good. There's a big antenna just about a block away. There's a Telcel station, and the internet is good. Occasionally it'll go, and there won't be anything for a short period of time. but that's pretty rare these days. So it's good.
What are some of the other things you spend money on then? You got your utilities paid, your rents, the 230-ish. You have you're paying for your phone and your internet, almost nothing, in my opinion. So what else do you spend money on?
Well, and back to I don't pay utilities, but I do. I got the bill here because I need it for some other government economic thing. It looks like they paid 3 units, 700. It's about 10 US a month is what my electric bill would be. Wow. Water, the way they do water, and they have a meter, they actually measure it. For water, it's a flat rate. A resident pays so much, a restaurant pays so much, a hotel pays so much. So it's minimal. I don't know what it is, but it's not very much. Yeah, that's other than that, pause. I mean, I don't really, there's not much to spend money. I mean, there's restaurants. I don't eat out that much. I enjoy cooking, and there's plenty of good ingredients here, a lot of good fresh fish. The shrimp we get is frozen, but we do get a lot of good fresh fish. I get fresh snapper for about $5 a pound. That's sort of my staple for my fish. Drinking, yeah, there aren't any bars per se. There's lots of restaurants and beach restaurants where people go to drink. Beer is about $1. $1.50, maybe $2 would be maximum you pay in a restaurant. At the shops, a bit cheaper than that. I buy the 500 ml big cans of Heineken, and they cost me less than $1 each. But that's the thing. The individual prices for liquor here are quite cheap. You don't get the great prices like you do at Costco and the bargains that you get in the States. So it's cheap, but in large quantities, if you're going to. People actually bring liquor from the States. They get the big bottles of whiskey and whatever they're drinking and bring it here because it's cheaper at Walmart than it is here. It's still not bad.
Okay. And so you eat out once a week, twice a week? And what would you say average per month that you spend at a restaurant?
I would say these days I eat maybe a couple times a month. I eat out because I enjoy cooking, and the food is fine. You know, there's Mexican food, lots of seafood, but I usually do a better job than the people can do in the restaurants here, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Or what I like.
Okay, so what is a typical entree in a restaurant there? Just to give people an idea, if you sit down for a meal.
Beans and rice. Standard, you're going to get some kind of beans and rice. A salad, sometimes pretty good, sometimes a bit of cabbage and onion and tomato, not always the best salad. And an entree, fish, meat, chicken, things like that. Of course, you can always get your enchiladas and burritos and tacos and the kind of Mexican food that everyone is familiar with. That's available. The food is, I would say, it's hearty. Fairly healthful, a bit greasy, starchy, but good. So people don't get too fat here.
And how much would that be in a restaurant in town there?
You can get a good cheap meal with drink and everything for $5 US. For a fish dinner or some kind of nice piece of meat or something with a drink along with it, maybe closer to $10. So $5 to $10.
Okay. And then what about like if you decide you want a fish taco off of a food cart? Do they have that there? And if so, what does it cost?
Yeah. There's anything like that. I mean, you can get a taco for less than $1. So for less than $5, $2, $3, something like that, you can get plenty of street food to fill you up.
Okay.
I buy a lot. This is standard. A lot of the tortillerias around Mexico, the tortilla shops, factories, they sell. They're hot. I usually get them in the morning. They cook them there. They got some bean factory somewhere, and you get a pound in the plastic containers like you buy potato salad in with beans and rice. And you get at the place near me, you get just plain beans. One is salted with some kind of spice, and the other one is salted spice and bits of sausage in it. So quite tasty. That costs about $1 for one of those. And one of those containers, I get 3 meals out of that. So I get cost me beans and rice, $2, lasts me 3 days. And then I put a piece of fish or vegetables along with it.
What's your burn rate right now per month? About how much are you spending there in Playa Blue Beach?
Yeah, it's not 1,000 a month. I don't really know because I've been buying. I moved to this place last year. I was gone for Christmas a while. I stayed in California for the COVID vaccine, and since I've been back, I bought a little television set. I bought some shelving. I bought a new chair. There's some things, some expenses one-time expenses that I won't see again. So I haven't really been keeping track. There is in town here in Playa Azul, there's several small shops that have pretty much everything you need for your basic items. But the city of Lázaro is 20 kilometers away. There are vans that leave every 10 or 15 minutes, cost $1.20 a ride. And there's a Walmart and a Sam's Club. So when I need something like my TV, I bought it at the Sam's Club. The chair, I bought it at the Sam's. There's $1.20 for the bus. It's a van, like a Toyota van.
A Colectivo.
Combi. Colectivo or Combi, they call them here.
Yeah, right.
And you can bring I'll bring a pack or a big bag of groceries on the van. That's no problem. But like the TV and the chair, well, then I get a taxi, and that's $180. So that's less than $10 for a private taxi from Lázaro to here.
Okay. And so you're not spending 1,000 right now.
I'm not. Besides without the purchases, no, I'm probably not spending that much.
Right. Okay. So if you were gonna guess, if you were gonna come down there for a year, and you were tight on money, how much do you think you would? And you were ready to really live cheap, which I know you can. What would you say is the minimum you'd bring? I'm working you here. I'm working you.
I would like to have 1,000 a month. I'm sure you could do, Mexican families, on a family of 5 gets by on way less than half of that. 10,000, 1,000 a month is about 20,000 pesos. That's a good salary here. A friend of mine who's a trained engineer, young guy, he's in his, young guy, 35. He works for the municipality. He gets 1,800. So he makes about maybe $800 a month, US. Right. And then he's a professional.
Yeah.
So he's $1,000 a month for an American, someone like me is enough.
Yeah. That's great. And that's the information that's very useful to my audience. I know nobody can rely on it and assume they can live there for that. They have to go down there and see the different places they could live, see where they would eat, what kind of lifestyle they want, and then do the math themselves. But it's nice for people to have that reference point, Charles. So thanks for helping us with that. A couple other things. Do you keep health insurance there, or what do you do about your health?
I do not. I am with my residency. I do have the opportunity to sign up for the Social Security system, which is basically healthcare for everyone. There's a bit of paperwork and things that I haven't done yet. In the meantime, I have health insurance in the United States. So if I have anything really, like a couple years ago, I had something, had a surgery in the States. So that's what I'm relying on for big things. For normal doctor's visits and dentists, I just had 2 crowns. No, I had a crown and a plate. And that was, I don't know, what was it, 2,000, a few $100s. The dental prices are anywhere from 1/5 to 1/10 of what they are in the States. So the dental stuff I just pay. You can see a doctor. There's a doctor around the corner. He's got a little sign up for a visit, just to go visit him, $4.
Okay, and the other thing people always worry about, hey, can I get this medicine that I'm taking in the U.S. outside the U.S.? Is the medicine that people eat, in Mexico or different places around the world?
And I don't think there's any medicine that you take in the States that you can't get here. I mean, it may have a different name, a different brand, but just about everything. Most of the stuff has the same name and brand, just different pronunciation.
Right.
But it's a lot cheaper. The same medicines are a lot cheaper here.
Yeah. And it's not unusual for them just to be over the counter. So once you know, once you're diagnosed, you just go buy it. You don't have to pay a doctor every time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, even as you probably know, the pharmacist can help you out. If it's some minor condition, you say, "Here's what I'm suffering for," and the pharmacist can say, "Okay," just like they could in the States and Europe, but they're not legally allowed to do that. But here they go, "Oh yeah, here's what you need," and you might look at it and it says medical receipt or receta, prescription is necessary, but nobody bothers.
So you're in a small town in Mexico on the beach, and another thing people are always asking about is safety. How do you feel there in terms of safety?
As you know, the Pacific Ocean here is pretty wicked, and people drown all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's those kind of natural things that are a risk that you have to really think about. But as far as crime and things like that, I can't think of a safer place. I mean, here everybody knows everyone. I mean, there are tourists come in, and they could. Well, I've never heard of a single robbery or pickpockets or that kind of thing. They just really here in this part of the country basically don't exist. No, I mean, Mexico, the cartels and the narcos, that's true. The violence you hear about does occur, but there are people that are involved in narco trade. They're just an innocent tourist. They're the last person that anybody's going to mess with is an overseas tourist. Narcos, they don't want any problems. They want to keep a very low profile. They're not even trying to sell you dope or anything. That's not part of their thing. That's export, and they just keep it all quiet. So it's very, very safe here.
That completes part one of this interview with Charles. In part two, he'll talk about Mexican residency, whether you should go for visa runs or get Mexican residency, what the benefits are, what it costs, and what you need to do. That's in part two. Probably that'll be up tomorrow. Thanks for listening. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake. Again, the YouTube channel for Vagabond Buddha. Please like, comment, or subscribe. And we have retired cheap reports all over the world. And come check out our membership. Thanks for watching my video. Have a great day. Click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to get a copy of all the resources described in this video and a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World. And while you're there, check out our 80 retired cheap reports and the course that teaches you how to make money as you travel the world.